Imagine you're in a concert hall, seated right in the center. On stage, there's an orchestra, and front and center, a virtuoso violinist just playing an impossibly complex piece. The sound from that one instrument is, well, it's breathtaking. But the rest of the orchestra, they're just a little bit off. The timing's a mess, the harmony gets lost in the noise, the star is brilliant, but the music itself is failing. This, right here, is basically where we are with AI. For years, all of our attention has been on that star performer, the AI model, the brain. We've been obsessed with making it bigger, faster, smarter. And honestly, it's worked. These models are the virtuosos of our time, no question. But a virtuoso alone doesn't make an orchestra. And that's the real question, isn't it? Who is actually conducting this whole thing? Who's telling the percussion when to come in, guiding the woodwinds? What is coordinating all these incredible separate capabilities to produce a single coherent piece of music? There's an invisible conductor, and right now we can barely even hear them. Okay, so let's get into it. When we move past simple one-off questions and into really complex multi-step tasks, like, say, finding and fixing a bug in a massive codebase, just having a smart model isn't nearly enough. The real challenge, the real bottleneck, is the control system that guides that model through the entire process. It's the conductor. This is all leading to an evolution beyond what we used to just call prompt engineering. It's becoming what you might call harness engineering. And you should think of a harness as more than just a set of instructions. It's the entire control stack that orchestrates a model's every move, every thought, every single interaction with its tools. A harness really acts as the agent's central nervous system. It connects all these different functions together. It manages memory, it helps the agent plan out its next steps, it dictates how and when to use tools, and it even makes the agent pause and reflect on its own work. It's the literal score the entire orchestra is playing from. And here is the crucial point. For most AI agents out there today, that musical score is a complete mess. It's not written on a clean sheet of paper that everyone can see. It's buried deep inside thousands of lines of controller code. It's basically invisible, all tangled up with everything else, which makes it incredibly difficult to study, to improve, or even just to compare one conductor's style to another. So how do we fix this? Well, the research we're exploring today proposes a really fascinating solution. What if we could take all that tangled logic out of the code and just write the conductor's score in plain English, almost like a recipe? And this shows you the difference perfectly. You've got the old way, a dense block of Python, where the actual strategy is completely hidden. It's practically unreadable. And then you have this new idea, a natural language agent harness, or NLAH. It's just a simple, numbered list of steps. Plan, execute, verify. Anyone can read this. Anyone can understand the strategy. This approach basically turns the agent's strategy into a blueprint. So instead of this secret, complex art form, designing an agent's behavior becomes more like architecture. You can actually see the structure, you can inspect the individual components, and you can swap one part out without bringing the whole thing crashing down. Now, this blueprint is built from just a few simple but powerful blocks. First, you have contracts, which are basically the rules of the game, what needs to be produced at the end. Then you have roles, which assign clear jobs like planner or debugger. And finally, you have stages, which just lay out the workflow from start to finish. It's structure, finally made explicit. But this is where the research gets really honest and, frankly, a lot more interesting. Because creating a clear set of rules, well, it isn't a magic wand. It turns out there are some unexpected downsides to being a very, very diligent rule follower. There's a kind of friction. If you look at the data, the most common outcome of applying these new harnesses was no change at all. For most tasks, whether they were solved or not, didn't really depend on the harness. But look at the other outcomes. This approach creates some new successes, sure, but it also creates some new failures. It's not a simple upgrade. It's more of a solved set replacer. It trades some wins for other wins. And this leads to this fascinating kind of error the researchers call an alignment failure. This is what happens when the agent follows its explicit step-by-step instructions so perfectly, so diligently, that it completely misses a much simpler solution that was right there in front of it the whole time. It can't see the forest for the trees because it's so focused on inspecting every single leaf. And this quote from the paper just captures the paradox perfectly. The harness gives the agent a clear path to follow, right? And the agent thinks it's succeeding at every single step. but that very path might be leading it away from what the final benchmark actually considers a success. Sometimes, more structure can actually lead you astray. So if it doesn't always improve performance, then what's the point? Well, this brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from this whole body of work. It's about a fundamental shift in how we even build these systems. The real breakthrough here isn't about getting a slightly higher score on some test today. It's about taking harness design, this messy, intuitive kind of dark art, and turning it into a proper object of scientific study, turning it into an actual engineering discipline. Because once you pull that logic out of the code and you write it down as a clear blueprint, everything changes. For the very first time, we can systematically study these different strategies. We can compare them, we can swap them out, combine them, and build upon them. Kind of like Lego bricks. We can finally have a real, rigorous conversation about what works, and more importantly, why. We've always talked about the ghost in the machine, right? That invisible intelligence that seems to make things work. What this research gives us is a way to make that ghost editable. For decades, the entire project of AI has been focused on making that ghost, the model itself, smarter and smarter. But this work asks a different and maybe a more powerful question. What happens when we stop trying to just make the performer better, and instead, we finally learn how to read and rewrite the conductor's score?